Hey guys, and welcome to TJ Tech. I think it's time to upgrade. Hey guys, welcome to TJ Tech. Today I'm going to be unboxing the iPhone X. For me, I'm going to be upgrading from the iPhone 6, so definitely this is a long time coming. What I have here is the space gray iPhone 256GB with FaceTime. To start off, let's do the packaging. I really like that this little tab has come into play with Apple's iPhones over the years, and in fact most of their products over the years, so it's just as simple as, and there you have it. And obviously the phone just pops right out. The first thing you see is designed by Apple in California, which is a change because it always used to be the phone right up front and center. Here of course inside you have the literature and stickers. Here we have the phone, you lift it up with the tab. Also, I'm gonna set that aside for a short while. So obviously the first thing we'll see is the AirPods. And of course we have the lightning to audio converter or audio jack converter so that you can use your old headphones as well. Dongle life. Inside we also have the power brick. I bought this from USA, so it's gonna have the US style plug. And there's definitely something really annoying about this, but that, again, more about that later. And of course we have a lightning cable inside. So obviously the most important part of the iPhone X is not the box and the actual iPhone. So this is the space gray iPhone. This one is 256GB. And of course the internals are what you guys probably already know. It's got 3 gigs of RAM. It's got the Apple A11 Bionic chip, which is their latest chip. Of course the biggest design change for the iPhone is the full screen on the top at the front with the notch, which you can't see at all when the phone is off. And no home button. The rest of the phone is roughly the same. We're talking about the buttons on the side with the silent switch here, almost like a power button on the side. SIM card tray. At the bottom we have the lightning port. We have a mic and speaker grill. And that's really about it. Now at the back, there is a slight change. Before we had the cameras going side by side. Here it's up and below. And of course we have 2 cameras like we have on the iPhone 7 Plus and 8 Plus. So a couple of things to note is that screen is obviously the full screen. It's edge to edge, it's 5.8 inches, and it's what Apple is calling a Super Retina screen. It is an AMOLED screen for the first time on an iPhone. It's always been LCD before this, and that's obviously the biggest change that we have. So there's a really cool way to upgrade from an old iPhone is just set up my new iPhone like this. Obviously you can tell the notch now. We have some information on the right, some information on the left, and the rest of the screen takes up the rest of the phone. Now you kind of see a bezel, so it's not a bezel-less phone, but it's an edge-to-edge screen. To me the bezel doesn't look that bad. I thought I would not like it, but when I saw it in person in the Apple store, it was perfect. One of the newest things is Face ID. And it takes 2 scans and you're ready to set up. It's as good as that. And there you have it. That's the iPhone X. So there's something to note over here. Now, you might have noticed in some of the screens that the screen seems to have this weird hue to it. Now that's obviously because we have the True Tone display thing going on. There you go. So removing True Tone makes it a little wider. True Tone obviously changes the screen based on the light around. I'm gonna leave it off for now. So now I'm a big fan of the screen. The screen looks really nice. It's got this sharp crispness to it that you can only get in an OLED screen. Very good with the blacks. Obviously, really you can't notice the notch half the time. And that again is one of the reasons why I was convinced with this phone. Obviously you will notice it in apps like this where you have an all-white screen, but that's fine, and in my opinion that's not a big deal. The camera in this phone is a 12 megapixel camera for the rear. Now we have 2 of course, so one of them is an f1.8 aperture, wide angle lens, and the other one is a telephoto lens, which is also 12 megapixel, but that's an f2.4. Now the other big change with this phone is of course the front facing camera. So we have this true depth camera, and that allows us to do this with Animoji, which is fun to play with and something that you definitely must have seen somewhere or the other. There are definite changes to the operating system for iPhone X specifically. Other than that, the battery, it's a 2716 milliamp hour battery. It has fast charging, but that's one of the other issues that I have with this thing. This thing doesn't support fast charging out of the box. You need to get a separate fast charger in order to use that. Of course, fast charging would be great because you get 50% of your battery in about 30 minutes, which is amazing, but the phone also does support wireless Qi charging. So if you have a wireless Qi pad, charging pad somewhere, you can definitely use this phone with that. I have done some testing with this. It does work with covers for the most part. Most covers I've tried worked. Not very thick ones. We're talking about ones that are about the thickness of the camera bump, which you can see there. So it's not something that's going to hinder you too much. So one thing to point out with this phone is that I bought this from the States. This was because I wanted to get FaceTime, and not because I want to do FaceTime calling, because that doesn't work where I'm at in the UAE, but mostly because I use my phone with Continuity or whatever it's called, that allows me to answer my phone calls through my MacBook. Now, in order to do that, you need FaceTime. And this is something that really bothers me because in the UAE, you pay a price higher than what you'll get this in the United States without tax, of course. So with tax, it's still cheaper there, depending on which state you're buying from. It's cheaper than some places like the United Kingdoms, and I think Hong Kong is about the same price. But it doesn't make sense that you're paying a higher premium for a phone which doesn't have some of the software features. For me, with a MacBook, as a MacBook owner, that's a very important thing that I need to have. It allows me to do both things. So this is the reason why I got it from United States, and that's why it took me a lot longer to get this phone. Not that I can't get it in UAE with FaceTime, but then again, you're talking about another 1,000 dirhams more, which doesn't make any sense. So that's my only gripe with Apple at this point, and I don't think that's specifically Apple's fault, but it's what I have an issue with right now in this with this region when it comes to FaceTime and iPhone. Something that I almost completely forgot to mention is that because this phone, I bought it from via the T-Mobile option on the Apple Store, it didn't come with a SIM card removal tray. So what I'm going to do is use one of my old bent ones and going to remove the SIM card just so that you can see what is actually there. It's a lot harder than it should be. So obviously inside you have a T-Mobile SIM card, and what I want is to use my Etisalat one. So obviously I'm going to put that one in. Let's see how this works. Ideally, it should work with absolutely no unlocking as such required, and it's already looking for the cellular network. You can see over there, searching, and it's connected. It's as simple as that. So that was a partial concern of mine because I wasn't entirely sure. I wasn't entirely sure that it would work the way I would want it to, but it works perfectly fine. This used to show T-Mobile here before I changed the SIM card, and now it just simply shows Etisalat. And I'm ready to go. Perfect. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys like this video. If you do, don't forget to hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'm going to go enjoy this phone. Once again, thanks for watching, and hope you guys have a good one.